He once thought she was the enemy, but now they're both running from the same killer. Love, betrayal, and blood, this time, no one is safe. She wasn't who he thought she was, Part 2. The tunnel walls blurred past them, the roar of the engine echoing like thunder in their ears. Amina clung to Jihoon's back, her pulse racing as headlights flared behind them. The black sedan closed in, its tires screeching on wet concrete. Jihoon, she shouted over the wind, they're getting closer. I see them, he growled, twisting the throttle. Hold on. Bullets sparked off the tunnel walls. Jihoon swerved sharply, sparks flying as the bike grazed the rail. Amina screamed but refused to let go. Her fingers dug into his jacket as they burst out of the tunnel into open night. Rain lashed their faces. The city skyline shimmered ahead like a ghost of safety they'd never reach. Behind them, the sedan followed, relentless. Jihoon pulled a pistol from his belt and handed it to her without looking. Can you shoot? Amina's hands trembled. I've never. Then learn fast. She turned, aimed, and squeezed the trigger. The shot cracked through the storm, the sedan swerved, its headlights shattering. Jihoon smirked. Not bad for a beginner. Don't make me do it again, she muttered, clutching him tighter. Moments later, he veered off the main road into the shadows of an abandoned industrial park. The engine coughed, sputtered, and died. They coasted to a stop behind rusted containers, hearts still racing. For a moment, silence. Only rain. Jihoon dismounted, scanning the area, pistol drawn. Amina's breath came in quick gasps. Are they gone? He crouched, checking the road. For now. She watched him, soaked, bruised, and still composed. Do you ever get scared? She asked quietly. He glanced at her. Fear keeps me alive. And what keeps you human? He didn't answer. They slipped into one of the warehouses. The air inside smelled of rust and dust, the ground littered with forgotten tools. Jihoon found an old tarp and spread it near a stack of crates. Sit, he said. Amina hesitated, then obeyed. She wrapped her arms around herself, shivering. Jihoon tossed her a small flask of water. Drink. She took a sip, her eyes fixed on him. Why are you still helping me? He loaded his pistol calmly. Because someone wants you dead before I find out why. That's not an answer. He met her gaze. It's the only one I've got. He turned away, speaking softly, almost to himself. You shouldn't have been part of this. Amina's voice broke the silence. You think I asked for it? I just took a job. I wanted a chance. He looked back at her, and for the first time, something like guilt flickered behind his eyes. You remind me of someone, he said. The woman who betrayed you. No, he said quietly. The one who didn't. The air grew heavier. Outside, thunder rolled across the river. Hours passed before Jihoon finally spoke again. We move at dawn. There's a safe house in Incheon. We'll regroup there. Safe house, she echoed. You mean hide? He gave a faint smile. Call it what you want. By morning, the rain had stopped, but the sky was gray, heavy with warning. Jihoon fixed the bike with quick precision while Amina sat nearby, lost in thought. When he noticed her silence, he asked, You trust me yet? She met his eyes. I don't know. You accused me of murder yesterday. And you crawled through vents and tried to escape. So we're even. He almost laughed, almost. They rode again, this time along the coast road. The air smelled of salt, the horizon endless. For the first time, Amina saw the quiet side of Korea, distant mountains, old fishing boats, the world beyond the neon chaos. She spoke softly over the engine noise. You could have been anything. Why this? Guns, secrets, violence? Jihoon's answer was simple. When you grow up surrounded by blood, peace looks like weakness. They arrived at a shipyard by late afternoon, an abandoned place overlooking the water. The gates creaked as they entered. Jihoon parked the bike inside a rusted hangar and led her into a small room tucked behind stacks of metal crates. "This used to be my father's," he said. "What happened to him?" "He believed the wrong people." The bitterness in his tone cut deep. Amina said nothing. She just watched as he peeled off his jacket, revealing a bullet graze along his shoulder. She stepped forward before he could protest. "Let me see." "It's fine. It's bleeding." He sighed, sitting on a stool as she cleaned the wound. Her touch was careful, gentle. "You're stubborn," he murmured. "You're welcome." For a brief moment, silence, the kind that hums between two people who shouldn't care, but do. When she finished, he looked at her. "Why did you really come to Seoul?" "I told you. The photography contract." He shook his head. "No. Why did you say yes? You didn't even know who was behind it." She hesitated. "Because I was tired of waiting for life to start. I wanted something bigger." "Be careful what you wish for," he said quietly. The tension broke when his phone buzzed on the table. He snatched it up. A coded message flashed on the screen, coordinates and a single line, "Miho alive. Black Phoenix." His eyes darkened. "They have him." "Who's Miho?" Amina asked. "My brother in arms. The only one I trust." He grabbed his gun. "We move tonight." "Wait," she said. "You can't just walk in there. It's a trap. It's always a trap." She stood in front of him. "Then let me help." He frowned. "You're not trained for this." "I didn't ask for permission." Jihoon stared at her, long enough for her heart to skip. Then he nodded once. "Fine. But you follow my lead." The Black Phoenix facility loomed on the outskirts of the city, a gleaming glass tower that hid its darkness well. They went in disguised, Jihoon in a delivery uniform, Amina with a camera bag. Inside, the air was cold and sterile, humming with quiet menace. Jihoon's voice was low. "Stay close. Cameras everywhere." Amina nodded, clutching her bag tight. They took the elevator. Halfway up, the lights flickered. Jihoon tensed. "They know." The doors opened, armed men waited. Gunfire exploded. Jihoon pulled Amina behind a column, returning fire. Amina ducked, hands over her ears. "Jihoon. Stay down." He moved like a shadow, controlled, ruthless. One by one, the men fell. Then silence. Amina stared at him, shaken. "You kill like it's nothing." He holstered his gun. "Because it is, to them." They stepped over the bodies, entering a glass-walled lab. Monitors blinked with data, photos, maps, and faces. Amina froze. One of the faces was hers. Rows of images filled the screen. Amina Okafor, target acquired, DNA match, project echo. "What is this?" she whispered. Jihoon's eyes narrowed. This wasn't supposed to exist. Then a familiar voice echoed behind them. "Surprised?" They turned. Min, Jihoon's trusted tech expert, stood in the doorway, a gun in his hand. Jihoon's voice was ice. "You." Min smiled. "I warned you your heart would get you killed." "Why?" Jihoon demanded. "Why betray me?" "For survival. For power. Take your pick." He nodded toward Amina. "You want the truth? Ask her who she really is." Amina's brow furrowed. "What are you talking about?" Min laughed softly. "The woman you look like, Hannah Park, wasn't just some thief. She was the one who got Jihoon's brother killed." Amina shook her head, tears welling. "No. I don't even know her." "Maybe not," Min said, "but someone made sure you'd carry her face." Ji-hoon lunged forward, disarming him, but not before Soo-min whispered, "You think you're saving her, Ji-hoon, but she's the reason your brother died." The gun went off. Soo-min fell. Blood spread across the floor. Amina stood frozen, shaking. He was lying, right? Ji-hoon didn't answer. His jaw was tight, his eyes distant, the same eyes that once looked at her with doubt. "Ji-hoon," she whispered, "say something." He turned away. "We're leaving." "But..." "I said we're leaving." They walked out in silence, the cold air between them sharper than any bullet. Outside, rain began again, soft and relentless. Amina followed him, but the distance between them had already grown. And somewhere in the shadows, someone watched, smiling. Because everything was going exactly as planned. Rain poured over the docks, washing the blood from Ji-hoon's hands. He stood motionless, staring into the storm. Amina was a few steps behind him, trembling. She wanted to speak but couldn't find the words. "Ji-hoon." He turned slightly, his voice cold. "Get in the car." She flinched. "You don't believe him, do you?" "I don't know what to believe anymore." She hesitated, then climbed into the car. The silence that followed was heavier than the rain. The drive was long, endless. Ji-hoon's eyes never left the road. Amina could see the storm reflected in them, a war between anger and something softer he was too proud to admit. Finally, she whispered, "If you think I'm lying, then drop me off and never look back." He didn't answer. The tires hissed over wet asphalt. Minutes later, the engine sputtered. Ji-hoon cursed under his breath. Out of fuel. He pulled into an abandoned roadside motel, flickering neon, empty parking lot, the smell of rust and mold. Inside, the air was damp. Ji-hoon threw his jacket on the bed, pulled out his gun, and set it on the table. "You should sleep," he said. Amina crossed her arms. "You really think I can?" He exhaled, rubbing the bridge of his nose. "I don't know who's using you, Amina. But I'll find out." "I'm not anyone's weapon," she said quietly. "You're just too blinded by your past to see it." That hit deeper than she realized. Ji-hoon turned away, silent. The thunder outside answered for him. Hours passed. Ji-hoon eventually fell asleep in the chair, his gun within reach. Amina lay awake, staring at the cracked ceiling, wondering if fate was punishing her for something she didn't even do. By dawn, she was gone. The door was open, the bed cold. Ji-hoon's eyes snapped open. He saw her bag on the floor, and the note she'd left. "Don't follow me. I'll only bring you more trouble." He ran outside, scanning the horizon. Then he saw it, black vans rolling through the fog. Too late. They had her. Amina woke up tied to a chair in a windowless room. The air reeked of bleach and fear. A shadow stepped forward, a man in a white suit, his voice smooth like poison. "Miss Okafor," he said, "or should I say, Project Echo." She frowned. "What do you want from me?" He smiled. "The same thing we wanted from Hannah Park. Only this time, the subject is more durable." He gestured, and a screen flickered to life, two identical faces side by side, hers and another woman's. Amina stared in horror. "That's not me." "It's who you were made to be," he said. "A perfect replica. Memory suppressed. DNA restructured. The price of perfection is ignorance." Her voice broke. "You're lying." Asked Ji-hoon. He's been looking for Hannah Park for 3 years. He just didn't realize he'd already found her. The words echoed in her mind until everything went black. Meanwhile, Ji-hoon stormed through the underworld of Seoul like a man possessed. Every contact, every gang, every ally, all burned for information. He found the clue he needed, the same black phoenix insignia carved into the ring of a dead informant. They took her to Sector 9, the dying man whispered. The lab beneath the docks. Jihoon drove like the devil was on his tail. The rain never stopped. Neither did he. When he reached the docks, the night was quiet, too quiet. He loaded his gun, eyes burning with rage. "I'm coming for you, Amina." Inside the facility, alarms blared. Jihoon moved like a ghost through the corridors, taking down guards one by one. Flashes of gunfire lit the walls. The air stank of smoke and metal. Then he saw her, strapped to a metal chair, pale under harsh lights. "Jihoon," she whispered. He shot the restraints free and pulled her up. "You came," she breathed. "I told you, I don't leave my debts unpaid." Before they could run, the man in the white suit stepped out of the shadows, clapping slowly. "How touching. You really believe she's still the girl you met?" Jihoon aimed his gun. "Try me." The man smiled. "Then you'll have to kill her too. She's carrying the same virus that destroyed your brother's team." Jihoon froze. Amina's eyes widened. He's lying. But Jihoon's hand trembled. Memories flooded back, the explosion, the screaming, Miho's voice on the comms. The man stepped closer. "You see? She was made from the same template. You're protecting a ghost, Jihoon." Amina took his hand, tears streaking her face. "Look at me. You know me. You feel me. That can't be fake." He hesitated, then fired. The bullet struck the man in the chest. He fell, choking on his own shock. Jihoon pulled Amina close. "You're real enough for me." They ran. Explosions followed, the facility collapsing behind them as they escaped into the rain. They made it to the docks just before dawn. Smoke curled over the water, the world burning behind them. Amina sat on the edge of the pier, shivering. Jihoon joined her, silent. "Tell me it's over," she whispered. He shook his head. "Not yet. If he was telling the truth, there are others like you. And if he wasn't? Then someone went through a lot of trouble to make me doubt you." Amina looked at him, the man who had once been her enemy, now the only one left she could trust. "What happens now?" Jihoon stood, staring at the rising sun. "We find whoever did this. We end it." She rose beside him. "Together?" He met her gaze. "Always." But somewhere far away, in a glass tower untouched by fire, a woman watched their escape through a monitor. A woman who looked exactly like Amina. She smiled faintly. "Let them run. It's only just beginning."